Hey guys, welcome back. It's G here. So I'm out in these streets again. I thought I would show you guys this area. It's the Duomo, and the Duomo here in Milano. Now every city pretty much has a Duomo, so this is not the only one, but I thought it would be an interesting spot to have this chat and have a bit of a walk around the Duomo so you guys can see what it looks like. And guys, I want you to subscribe to my channel, of course. Leave me comments and likes. I want to welcome my new followers as well, so I appreciate all of you guys. So today I want to get into this discussion, and this I think is kind of an interesting topic. So one of the major things that I won't say we, I will say I have constantly heard from Black women as an obstacle for dating out or interracially or whatever you want to call it is the concept of being fetishized. Nobody wants to be a fetish. And I think about this and I wonder, why is this still a barrier for Black women, especially since their Black male counterparts have embraced being fetishized, almost to the point that it's become a huge part of the Black male identity. So guys, subscribe and let's have this little discussion. Guys, this is the thing that I often hear when I discuss, dating out with Black women. I don't want to be a fetish. Like, oh great, yeah, I'll be his fetish. And let's talk about what fetish really means, right? Let's talk about the Webster's dictionary definition. Fetish is basically something of, extreme worship and extreme desire, right? And I talk about this in relationship to how Black men have basically embraced the idea of being fetishized. Like, they have made it a part of their personal identity in general. They think they are sexier, they think they are more sexually desired, and it comes across even now with all of the kind of male-female gender wars that's happening in the United States with Black men and Black women, is definitely a center of their reasoning. They are just more desirable than any other species of male, according to them, right? And when we date out, quote unquote, it's even more evident that they embrace these ideologies. And when we talk about, and when they talk about, the comparisons between Black women and non-Black women, it's generally about being worshipped. It's generally about being fetishized, to say the least. Now, why is it though that Black women, and I'm going to tell you why is it that this has become accepted and okay? Because in truth, Black women are fetishized by Black men as well, right? I mean, especially in the sexual sense. And that's the fear with Black women, is that they're going to be used by someone who just wants to know what it's like to be with a Black girl. And I think that I understand the history, right? I understand the history of that. But Black men have the same history as well in regards to being used for sex, right? Because that's what it comes down to. It comes down to not being able to believe that women have power. And one of those things in regards to sex is our own distinction of who we want to have sex with and how. And I think that, you know, when we talk about this, more Black women are used as sexual objects and desires to satisfy their Black male counterparts than anything else, especially now. You know, when we talk about fetishizing with Black women in the past and all of those things, it was more about not having the power of control. It was about sexual violence. Guys, we're at the Duomo. So this is like the biggest Duomo. I think in Italy, I'm pretty sure it's the biggest. It's still under construction. Of course, there's renovations always to these old medieval buildings, but I'm gonna walk around the front so you can see it a little better. But yeah, I thought this was actually even more appropriate of a place to have this discussion, because where did these ideologies come from? They generally came from white supremacy and the interpretation that white men gave to our ancestors about Christianity, right? So the type of Christianity that has been introduced and held so tightly in the Black community is one that basically promotes patriarchy, right? So in that sense, even in the church, especially the Black church, we can see how Black pastors can be fetishized, but they will hold Black women to a whole different type of standard. And we all know this. We don't have to go through the history, we don't have to go through all of the scandalous things that have happened in Black churches to understand that. You can see the Duomo behind me now. But I have my partner with me too. It's really crowded down here. I'm always nervous about pickpockets, like someone snatching my phone when it's on the selfie stick, more than anything else. But we'll go over here. You want to go see the Duomo? Okay, we'll go sit over here for a second. We can find a spot. So the fact that, you know, oftentimes Black men will pick and choose their ideals from Christianity and what fits them and what suits them better in respects to how they define. Here, we can sit here for 1 second to how, and say hi? Yeah, hi. So the fact that they pick and choose like these type of concepts to hold women. So yeah, like they've picked and choose some of the more beneficial ideologies associated with this. And I mean, we see this over and over again. The expectations of Black women and the fear that Black women are going to disappoint Black men is constantly in the back of their mind. And I think like even this concept again of what Black women can do and the power behind. So like this is the funny thing. When we hear Black men talk about Black women in a negative way, it's always associated with things that they say they only bring sex to the table, or they don't have any other value besides some sort of sexual value. They can't find it. And we hear this over and over again, when in reality, the problem isn't that Black women only bring sex to the table. The problem is we don't think that their sex is that special. Like, that's it. We're not willing to worship them in the same way that they would like to be worshiped, because we want worship. And so the idea that someone is fetishizing us, so the idea that Black women can't be desirable in the same way is absurd, right? And one of the things that we see, oh my God, I'm going to show you guys examples of this. Now, I saw a clip from TLC or whatever, Sister Wives, with a black man with two wives, two white wives, looking for a third. He doesn't work. He's a stay-at-home dad, and they are the providers.
Stay-at-home dad. In our household, the women are the breadwinners. That's the way we run things here. That's the way we like it to be structured.
Nick is a trophy husband, if you will.
We prefer it that way, right. Honestly. Like, I would go crazy if I was at the house all the time, and I pride myself on being a breadwinner, and Jenny's right there with me. I am a manager at an organization company. Jen is management in an IT company. Jen and I make more than enough money by ourselves. We don't need that. We don't want that.
Let me just say this right quick. If you look at a chessboard, the king doesn't really move much, because he just moves a square at a time. Meanwhile, the queen, she's all over the board, okay? The queen's got all the power. The king just kind of holds court. Now, please, continue.
No, all I wanted to say is the thing that Nick's able to do is to read and learn and decipher things that I would never be able to do. I'm just so thankful that I'm able to have a thinker at home that all he does is read and think and tell me about all the things that he's been able to research and what that means, how that applies to us here, and how that makes it to where we don't have to be stressed in our life like everyone around us. I don't walk around with anxiety or hurt or any of those things, and if I didn't have Nick in my life, I probably would. Not everyone in the world has a Nick, and I'm just thankful that I do.
Me too.
What is his role? I didn't even see kids. He's a stay-at-home husband. What is his role besides a buck? This man is fully embraced being a sexual object to these women because he thinks it shows his power. He thinks it shows his dominance. And the truth is, I mean, maybe it does for this new definition of man. But ultimately, what he has done is embrace fully the idea that he is a sexual object. Because what else is he bringing to the table, y'all? We've been talking about over and over again how women ain't doing nothing but, staying home and having sex. But the fact that he has two women willing to pay for his life, I guess, he's fine. Now, this man doesn't have a problem with being a fetish. Ultimately, that's his whole job in his relationship, is to be the object of sexual desire. And the only difference between, or I see, between this and any woman being fetishized is the concept that patriarchy and a penis gives you power. Now, we know how powerful the vagina is, right? Like, that goes without saying. But we don't embrace that power. We don't embrace the power of the pussy. We only want to believe that there's power in a phallic symbol. And we've been socialized to believe that. And here we are, 2022, still struggling conceptually. Here, let's get the Duomo in the background. Like, conceptually with these ideologies, because black women have been so black male focused, and that inability to separate themselves from the black male experience has been detrimental, hasn't it? So, it's a good. In fact, black women have allowed themselves to be continuously fetishized by black men, especially in the nature of sex. Now, there are lots of ways to fetishize somebody. There's lots of types of fetishes. And the truth is, we see it more often being embraced again and again. I saw this on Instagram, y'all, where this man is calling himself a whole jungle animal, or, you know, a savage. He's calling himself Tarzan to his Jade. We see it in so many displays. I'm sorry, like almost all of the questions that surround why do black men want to date white women, it's all about their personal fetish, their personal embrace of fetish, being a fetish, the idea of worship, the idea of someone who gives them everything they desire, be it sexually, financially. But black women aren't allowed that. But why? Because to a certain extent, this Christian ideologies are built in so deeply that they can't believe that there is power beyond that. And it also speaks to, you know, again, that desire of self-worth. Because the more we realize our worth, the more we understand the fact that, you know what, somebody might worship me and I am worthy of worship. Someone might, you know, want to take care of me and I'm worthy of that. I don't have to do all of these extra things just to prove my value to the male species. I mean, the things that I see people sacrifice, especially males, black males, in interracial dating situations, a lot of times their dignity and integrity can be sacrificed. I mean, we've all heard the stories of men. I am going to try and find this one, where basically this man who was with his partner, had children with her, never actually shared a meal with her family, and was often sitting in the garage while they were eating dinner. And he thought, you know, initially that it was because the father-in-law loved him so much, wanted him to help with projects. No, you can't sit at our table. There have been so many stories that I've seen this. And they're willing to give up a little bit of integrity, a little dignity, for the idea of being worshipped by this woman. And I don't know how much worship that is, y'all, because I don't know about being in the garage while somebody else is eating dinner. That's just not me. That's not my definition. But, you know, to each their own. Oops. So guys, yeah, I think that having this idea and this fear that we as black women can only be fetishized sexually in interracial relationships is one that we can easily let go of. And I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm just saying that it's less likely to be used for sex when you know your power. That's all I'm saying. And that goes with any ethnicity of man. Because what we do know is black women get used for sex more often by their black male counterparts than anybody else. And we see that time again, and now they make whole podcasts about it and basically degrade you for messing around with them. Y'all, if it ain't a mess, okay. I want to talk to you guys in the comments. I want you guys to tell me what you think. Are you guys still thinking about these concepts of fetishization? Like, I've seen so many women still, I mean, I see it all the time in so many groups with black women. And as soon as someone says, hey, I'm dating out, they'll be like, oh, well, enjoy being his fetish. Mommy sees, baby, mommy sees. And I'm like, girl, you can be anybody's fetish. It's not based on ethnicity, guys. And I hope you guys enjoyed seeing a bit of the Duomo. And we are gonna... You sleepy? I got my partner here. You wanna say bye-bye? Say bye-bye? You wanna say bye-bye? You wanna say bye? No? Say bye. All right, guys, subscribe. Tell me what you guys think. I look forward to talking to you in the comments. And ciao, ciao for now. You wanna say bye?